Steeler Nation Live Studios, overlooking the beautiful city of downtown Rochester, New York. Bringing you Steeler news, updates, stats, and scores. Check us out on the web and TalkShoe Radio at www.steelernationlive.net. And new for the 2015-2016 season, Kicking It with Jeff Reed, former Super Bowl champion of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, here are your hosts of Steeler Nation Live, Big Tiz and Big O.
Welcome to Steeler Nation Live. Big Tiz, I'm Big O. Guys, brand new season. We're back again, Big O. 2015, who would have thought that we'd still be in business? But when you have the love and the passion for the Pittsburgh Steelers, as we do, we're going to keep this train rolling. Hey, guys, and we have been busy this offseason. The offseason usually is a downtime for us here at Steeler Nation Live. You know, where we go and we do our things with our family, just like a lot of other guys out there. But the fact is, we wanted to keep this thing to the grind, and we did that this offseason by revamping the website. Go check out the website, www.steelernationlive.net. Go there. You'll see a new change to the website. Pictures up there for you guys. It's still add there. We want to see you in your best Steeler gear. And also, we had a big thing this offseason, Big O. We incorporated Steeler live interviews with old Steeler players, and we're trying to acquire some newer Steeler players, I should say. But the fact is, they're all out there. Go check out the website with the likes of Yancey Thigpen. A lot of guys still love Yancey. Levon Kirkley. Big Levon is out there, number 99. And Ernie Mills, number 89. Good old number 89 for the Steelers. He's also out there on the website. Go check us out. Go check out the interviews. A lot of things for you guys in the offseason. But Big O, with the offseason being as busy as it was for us, you know what? We had a new addition that we're going to add to the team this year as well. Kicking It with Jeff Reed. That's what I'm saying. Jeff Reed, ex-Super Bowl champion of the Pittsburgh Steelers, is joining the team of Big Tiz and Big O to be part of Steeler Nation Live. And we're very happy that Jeff's going to come on board and be a part of our team. But we don't want to leave out our sponsors. We want to welcome back two of our major sponsors. We have so many fans out there who want to sponsor Steeler Nation Live, but the two that come to my heart are McGinney's Sports Pub and Uniform Express. Let's talk a little bit about McGinney's first of all. McGinney's, 2246 East River Road, Henrietta or Rochester, New York. Phone number is 585-247-7770. Go out there, see Sal. They got a wide variety of food, Tiz, and everybody at home, if you're in Rochester, go out there, see Sal. But let me tell you something real good. Birthday special. If it's your birthday and you like chicken wings and you're in Rochester or you're coming to Rochester, tell Sal, show me your ID, prove it's your birthday, and for every age, you get a free chicken wing. So if you're 21, 41, 71, that's how many chicken wings you're going to eat. That's the guy I want to party with, 71 wings. Oh, absolutely right, Big Tiz. And that's all flavors and styles that you want, but you have to eat them there. You can't take them to go. That's McGinney's Sports Pub, East River Road, Henrietta. Also, for you fire, EMS, and anybody who has like sports teams, like you need uniforms, shirts, T-shirts printed up, made up, whatnot, go to Uniform Express at 1408 Buffalo Road, Rochester, New York. Go out see Brian or call Brian at 529-4245. That's 585-529-4245. Go see Brian. If you need uniforms for your softball team, your football team, or whatnot, go see him. EMS needs, police, fire, whatnot. It's awesome. And we want to thank our sponsors for helping Steeler Nation Live out as much as they do and can. Right. And like we always said, it's been a busy offseason for us as well. And as everyone knows what's going on, this is the first show for us, so we're trying to get caught up and get you caught up on everything that's been going on in the offseason for the Steelers. Now, the Steelers, they have been pretty busy in this draft. They selected the players they drafted. And the thing about it was, unbeknownst to a lot of people, the Steelers knew with one of the draft choices that they picked before, Sammy Coates. Yeah. Sammy Coates was actually a draft choice for the Steelers that was drafted with the Steelers knowing that Martavis Bryant would not be there, Big O. That is true. And this is something that's come to light. It's something you don't want to shine out because it's in a negative presence. You don't want to, too many people know this. The Steelers had a hunch that there was a possible chance that Martavis Bryant could be suspended up to 4 games. So getting this number 3 draft pick for wide receiver, people were scratching their heads and were wondering, why would the Steelers, with the arsenal of receivers they have now, why would they pick a receiver in the 3rd round? Now we know why. Right. And that's exactly what's going on with the Steelers. They must have had some early information on it. And the thing about it was they tried to address it through the draft. And I believe they got a decent quality receiver in Sammy Coates. And I believe Sammy Coates will be a decent receiver with time. He's somebody that needs to progress. And with time that he's going to probably be given with the Steelers, that'll probably happen. But the Steelers, they just recently came up with a final roster, for the game against the New England Patriots. And there were some notable cuts out there for the Steelers as well. And one of them that came to mind was the fact of Anthony Chickillo.
Anthony Chickillo, one of the main linebackers, out of all linebackers for the Pittsburgh Steelers, that Chickillo was the one who got the most snaps and the most plays. And that was a surprise, but not to the point where what the Steelers were coming at, because the Steelers are going to use a 10 linebacker presence on the team. As far as active roster, we'll have 10 active linebackers on the 53-man roster. And Chickillo, thank God that nobody picked him up after we cut him, but we re-signed him to the practice squad, which is going to be a great help, not only for our linebacking core, but special teams, because he was a great special teamer as well, Big Tiz.
Well, we'll go over some of the notable possible cuts that actually were re-signed to the practice squad for the Steelers, with Anthony Chickillo being one of them. And Dorian Grant was a good defensive back for the Steelers, who I thought, wearing the same number as Ike Taylor.
Yeah.
I thought that he would be in there and probably be one of the receivers to make it on. Good draft choice. But the fact that he was cut but brought back with the Steelers to be on the practice squad.
Absolutely. With the addition of Boykins from Philadelphia, that was a great acquisition as well. Not that great of a preseason for Boykins, but you're coming into a new team, Tiz, and a new mindset and a new atmosphere. It's kind of hard to really, put your sights on how a player is going to play during the preseason coming from another team and another style of play.
Well, we also had some other cuts out there as well, and we'll go over some of them. We actually had Jordan Dangerfield was one of the other defensive backs that was cut. And we also had Xavier Gimble, if I'm sure. I can't read that as well. Yep. But tight end for the Steelers, he was cut as well. Now, the Steelers had some other cuts out there as well, but we're not going to go through all of them. Ian Wild was one that was big for us.
Big surprise.
I was surprised. This guy, from what we were hearing in camp, was just exploding through running backs, through whoever had the ball in their hand, he was just destroying them. And this guy, for some reason, the Steelers didn't keep him. I don't know if it's the fact that maybe he had coverage problems, which could have been, but the fact is he was a devastating hitter.
Yeah, and we picked up a cornerback from Buffalo, Cockrell, which seems everything on paper looks great, fantastic, which leads me to wonder, why would a team release this guy if on paper he does so well? But Cockrell from the Buffalo Bills cornerback may see some time this year. That's, if unfortunate things happen to Shamarko Thomas or to Mike Mitchell or somebody like that in defensive back realm. So,
well, in saying that, but the Steelers have whittled everything down and got everything down to the 53-man roster, what they needed. And Big O, let's go through some of the starters or who's going to be starting against the New England Patriots on Thursday night, which is tomorrow night, and you guys amped up. Come on, you got to get behind your Steelers. It's going to be a rough game out there, but you know what? Black and gold forever, baby.
Yeah. Now, let's get this out of the way, first of all. We're going to miss two key players, one wide receiver and one running back, Le'Veon Bell and Martavius Bryant. Two of the biggest stars, biggest contributors to the Pittsburgh Steelers offense that overpowered many defenses last year are going to be missing. Martavius is going to be gone for the first 4 games and Le'Veon for the first 2.
And let's not forget, Marquise Pouncey.
Oh, absolutely.
Pouncey's a big added addition for the Steelers. It's going to be missed heavily. This guy did a lot of the play calls to the linemen out there, and he picked out guys which needed to be blocked in the secondary as well. So he was always a great center that went downfield to get that second and third block. The fact is, Cody Wallace stepped in, and hopefully he will be the man for right now, and hopefully Cody will learn on the fly. I'm just hoping everything works out well, but it's just like every time we play the New England Patriots, it just seems like it's not a good time every time they get us.
Oh, absolutely. And, well, the Pittsburgh Steelers have a 14-9 record against the Patriots coming into tomorrow night's game. Last time we met wasn't on a positive note. We were losing at half. We did come back and tie, but the defense just got too tired, or I don't know what you want to say, but it wasn't a good wasn't a good game for the Pittsburgh Steelers because we ended up on the losing end of that. Hopefully a different story coming up tomorrow night in Foxborough, 8:30 game, Thursday Night Football, the first game of the 2015-2016 NFL season. The Pittsburgh Steelers and New England Patriots. It's going to be a 5-star matchup. Why, Big Tiz? Because the Pittsburgh Steelers are in it.
Love it, love it. But with saying that, let's go right over into our 53-man roster. Well, who's going to be starting against the game against the New England Patriots?
Well, Marcus Wheaton is obviously going to take the reins covering for Martavis. Now, I knew something was kind of odd seeing Marcus Wheaton taking more snaps and more plays than Martavis Bryant. Maybe I thought they were holding him out, but, we all know the story beyond that. And Marcus Wheaton is going to take the place of Martavis Bryant. Now, who's going to be the number 3 wide receiver? Sammy Coates and Darius Hayward-Bay are going to be fighting for that third and final wide receiver spot. It's still out in the open. We're not going to know until game time tomorrow night. And what I like about this year is Darius Hayward-Bay changed his number. If people haven't been paying attention to the preseason, Darius Hayward-Bay used to wear the number 85. Now he's wearing the prominent number 88 of Lynn Swann.
Love it.
So hopefully that will do put him in some kind of a mindset to be an overachiever. He's a great wide receiver, but he's a veteran wide receiver. So wearing number 88 can possibly help him in that. Running back situation, D'Angelo Williams, a great pickup for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Unfortunately, Josh Harris, one of my favorites, was released and cut by the Pittsburgh Steelers. I thought he always had promise, Big Tiz.
Yeah. I thought he would be the man, but, there's so many problems that's going on with the Steelers. The Steelers sometimes at times in the draft looked like they didn't know what they wanted to do at the moment. So
I'm with you.
And it was a rough draft for the Steelers. And a lot of people don't realize, and we wanted to bring that back to as well, that we forgot to mention as well, is the acquisition of Mike Vick during the offseason as well. So, you know what? That was a lot of heated debate out there for a lot of people. Mike Vick, coming into Pittsburgh and, the things that followed Mike Vick when he came to Pittsburgh. And it seems like that still is following Mike Vick into Pittsburgh. And for me, myself, and that's my own personal opinion, I feel that Michael Vick has done what he needed to do his time for whatever crime he committed or whatever. And the only way for a guy to be able to rehabilitate himself is for it to allow this individual to try to do things that's going to be positive in certain ways. And this is what Mike Vick is trying to do. He's keeping low key, not causing any problems in the Steeler camp. So what else could we ask for the guy?
I'm with you 100%, Big Tiz. And for the people out there, I guess there's over 20,000 petitioners that are unhappy with the signing of Michael Vick. And here's my opinion on the Michael Vick take. What he did, or what he was, what they say, what he was accused of, what he was spending time in prison for was heinous, was absolutely horrible, horrendous. I'm not a dog owner, but that doesn't take away the fact that what he did, what he was a part of, was horrible. Now, my viewpoint on this, what has he done to atone for what he did in the past? What has he shrugged it off? What has he done? Folks, he has tried everything he can to make him a better person, understanding animal rights, animal cruelty, what is going on. And I think that he is a changing man. By that, it's time to give this guy a second opportunity. And what better to use his attributes to come to Pittsburgh and help us win a 7th Lombardi. I'm not trying to dispel what he did in the past. Folks, you can't change the past. You can change the future. And what I've seen in Michael Vick as a man, changing what he has done and turning into something positive and being a better person, this is what we need to look at. We can't look at the past. You can't change it, folks. It's unfortunate. I'm sorry it happened. And I'm just upset as anybody out there of what happened in the past. That's the past.
Right.
Has he tried changing his life for the better? He has, folks. And what better opportunity to do it in Pittsburgh under the supervision of the Rooney family.
Right. Yeah, he's in a good place to where he should be. And right now, if you look at the depth chart, I believe there's Roethlisberger, then Vick, and then Landry at the moment, with our other quarterbacks out there either hurt or
Gronkowski's hurt.
Right. And
Landry Jones is also hurt as well.
Well, yeah. Well, I don't know how much of a difference that makes, but He is hurt, though.
With the signing of Tyler Murphy, the all-around, I can do everything, the slash kind of guy, almost like a Hines Ward.
Right.
Came in as a quarterback, but he can do it all. So Tyler Murphy, the two names that you need to think about or remember is Tyler Murphy for the Pittsburgh Steelers. This guy's going to be a superstar, Big Tiz.
Hey, guys, you know what? There's going to be a lot of action going on. We still got a lot left on the show. So right now we're going to step out to a commercial break. When we come back, we're going to also go over a matchup on Thursday night with the Steelers versus the New England Patriots when we come back to Steeler Nation Live.
Uniform Express, located on 1408 Buffalo Road, Rochester, New York, for your police, fire, or EMS supplies. One of Rochester's top and finest suppliers of shirts, pants, shoes, boots, and accessories for your professional uniform needs. Uniform Express also does embroidery and screen print for team uniforms, jerseys, and corporations. Hours are Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. You can also go to their website at www.uniformexpress.com or call Brian at 585-529-4245. That's 585-529-4245. And let Brian know you heard his ad on our show, Steeler Nation Live.
Welcome back to Steeler Nation Live. Big Tiz.
I'm Big O.
Guys, you know what? Comes the best part of the show where we talk about Thursday night game where the Steelers are stepping right back into New England. And it's going to be a dogfight in there. Guys, you got to be ready. Big O and I, we're going to go over some of the not the stats, but some of the guys who we think are going to match up against each other in this game, Pittsburgh versus New England.
Oh, absolutely, Big Tiz. And there's really not too much to speak for New England Patriots other than the fact Tom Brady will be back under center. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. But LeGarrette Blount, one of the, he was in New England. He left New England. He's back in New England. He's the starting running back. He's the powerhouse in the backfield. But don't forget, folks, because of that little incident with Le'Veon Bell and LeGarrette Blount, we all make mistakes. He will not be suited up for the game. That's one game suspension that LeGarrette Blount will not be in the backfield. Fortunately, they have Brandon Bolden in the backfield, a great runner, great powerhouse runner, and this one kid from Wisconsin, James White. Guy's 5'11", 200 pounds, and this kid really didn't tear it up in preseason, but this is the kind of guy that you have to worry about. One, he's a dual threat in the backfield. Number two, the Steelers have not seen this kid or have played against this kid. But all I know is he's a very elusive back. He's like a Dree Archer, but only bigger.
Yeah, and that is dangerous for the Steelers right now with a kind of a vulnerable defense. And they have to be very worried of a guy who can actually catch that ball out of the backfield because that's a dual, like you said, Big O, that's a dual threat. And that's somebody who can cause serious problems with the Steelers. So right now, we're hoping that the Steelers can, address that with pressure. And that's the main thing. I don't know how healthy Tua is. I believe he's supposed to be a starter as well.
Yep.
And let's hope that he's healthy enough to bring that pressure on the outside. And the main one again, Jarvis Jones.
Yeah. But let's not get away from the New England offense as well. Wide receivers for New England Patriots. Danny Amendola, who was pretty elusive, and Julian Edelman. And not to forget to mention the Gronk. Okay? Now, what makes these guys dangerous, Edelman and Amendola are slot receivers. Okay? You have Brandon LaFell. He's the guy who's going to burn you deep. But these are the guys at the line of scrimmage who are going to burn you short. And then what's the bad part, Tiz, and folks at home, is that these guys get yards after the catch.
Right.
Now, how do we defend this, Big Tiz? Like we talked before the show, it's very simple. We've talked about this every year, and I'm a main proponent of this, Big Tiz. Jamming at the line of scrimmage, bump and run. You get these guys off their routes, especially the slot receivers. You get these guys off their routes. Then you have time for Jones, Harrison, and Timmons to get to the quarterback, if not put pressure on him, but to sack him. That is the key that the Pittsburgh Steelers defense need to get to Brady, is jam them wide receivers and especially Gronkowski at the line of scrimmage. I'm telling you, Big Tiz, we do this, we walk out with a win.
Yeah, but the other thing with the Steelers have been experimenting with the cover 2 during the offseason, the preseason, which is a good time to experiment with things. But in the 4 preseason games, the Steelers with a cover 2, they've given up 4 touchdowns of 34, 31, 21, and 67 yards just to tight ends. Now, if you're giving that up to tight ends and the New England Patriots live off of their tight end, who's a spectacular tight end in Gronk, will that cover 2 suffice for this game? Maybe not. But the fact is the Steelers have been playing a lot of that in the offseason. So it will surprise me to see that the Steelers stay in that. But the fact is they have to address everything with pressure up front.
Right. Now, I was at the Green Bay Packer game in the end zone where the Steelers recorded, I think, 6 or 7 sacks, 1 for a safety on Aaron Rodgers. Now, how did they do this? Exactly how I said they should approach New England Patriots. Jamming the wide receivers and the tight ends at the line, getting that added second or 2 pressure on the quarterback. And it wasn't just Rodgers, it was every quarterback who went back there to throw the ball. Now, when you put that kind of a pressure on a Green Bay Packer team who's a pass-happy, run-second kind of team, you're going to win ball games. And Pittsburgh proved that by coming out victorious. Now, I can't remember the final score off the top of my head, but you can add 14 points to that game, the Green Bay Packer-Pittsburgh Steelers preseason game, because we had 2 touchdowns called back. We'll talk about that later in my final thoughts.
Hey, like I said, there are a lot of things that's going to be happening. And in this game, it's going to be a late one, guys. So, us guys here on the East Coast, stay up late, check every aspect of this game out, because the fact is the Steelers have to put that continual pressure on the outside to Brady. If Brady stands in that pocket, it's going to be a long day for the Steelers, and especially a young Steeler defense. And the Steelers are going to be coming into New England as their starting lineup for the defense with Cameron Hayward. And also we have Stephen Tuitt. And we also have Arthur Moats, Ryan Shazier.
Yeah, they're gonna be swapping up Moats and Shazier. But the inside linebackers are gonna be on the left side. It's gonna be Shazier starting, and on the right side is gonna be Lawrence Timmons, who thankfully restructured his contract. We don't hear about this too much in the media when something is good that it's not forced upon a player to do. That this guy comes up and volunteers his money. But you know what? It makes a lot of sense. I mean, can you spend $10 million or $8 million? What's the deal here? You know what I mean? But to restructure, a couple players restructured once again.
Right.
Heath Miller stepped up to the plate and restructured his contract after he reconstructed it. I mean, how much more reconstruction can you do? You look like Phyllis Diller in plastic surgery. How much reconstruction can you do, folks at home? But it's because of being a Pittsburgh Steeler.
Right. Well, there's a guy right there who wants to win. There's a guy who wants a ring.
And knows he can win.
Then there's a guy who knows he has a certain window to win that ring. And I've seen some other guys as well. Antonio Brown took his stuff. And he had his restructured as well.
Yeah, he got, you know what? You throw a couple dollars your way, and it's pretty amazing, folks, how happy you can be. And you know what they say about a happy worker is a productive worker. And we know how productive Antonio Brown is and can be. You throw him a couple dollars, make him happy. So, folks, it's not about – and I love how the media, not us, the media bring to the table all this junk, try to start junk, and just to get, a story out there. But you're not going to find it in Pittsburgh, especially with Pittsburgh Steelers and how they work their contract and working for the Roonies.
Right? There's a lot. The Roonies are a respected organization, and they do a lot for the community there in Pittsburgh. In this game going into New England with the Steelers hurting as they are, they're going to need every ounce of help they can get. And the Steelers actually, they do have their 2 top premier safeties that might possibly not start this game. And Mike Mitchell.
Yeah, and Shamarko Thomas.
Yeah.
Shamarko Thomas is predominantly going to be a special teams player at this point, but he will take a lot of snaps at safety. But coming into the game, we're gonna see Robert Golden and Will Allen playing back there, starting for safety. If things happen between tonight and tomorrow, it doesn't matter. You're wearing black and gold. You're going to be out there. You're going to be productive. You're going to produce whatever your name is on the back of that jersey. You're starting for the Pittsburgh Steelers. You're going to be productive.
Exactly. Well, there you have it there for the defensive side of the ball. But if we switch over to the offensive side of the ball for the Steelers, of course, we're coming in with Ben Roethlisberger, Antonio Brown, receivers, Marcus Wheaton, Kelvin Beachum as on the line. As you keep going down, Ramon Foster, Cody Wallace stepping in for injured center. I mean, this is some huge things that's going on in Pittsburgh, Big O.
Yeah, and Marquise Pouncey is built out of glass. I mean, for the past 3 or 4 years, this guy cannot make it out of preseason without getting injured. Just imagine how many more wins Pittsburgh Steelers could get with him. But you know what, Big Tiz? We always say every year, every show, Steeler goes down, somebody steps up in their place and does the same, if not a better job.
Yeah, that's Tomlin's aspect of it too. Next man up, you know what I mean? And it has to be that way.
Exactly. And in the backfield situation, we all know Ben Roethlisberger is our hero, is our man. He's at the helm. He's driving the ship. But the thing that people are kind of cautious about is the running aspect of the game. Can D'Angelo Williams hold up? Can he be our duct tape? Big Tiz, what are your thoughts on D'Angelo Williams now that before when he was signed? What do you think going into tomorrow night's game that D'Angelo Williams can bring to the table for the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Well, I think he can bring productivity, but the fact is, can he be a workhorse? I don't think so. But the fact is the Steelers have to use him in right ways, which means maybe swing out passes. Maybe then you get some in between the tackle stuff, maybe some outside stuff. But I believe he's like a more or less like a 15 to 16 type carry back, not the workhorse that we have with Le'Veon Bell. But he's only there to spell him there for a short time anyway, Bigo.
Right. And what I like about Will Johnson was transformed from a tight end to a fullback to a tailback, running back, whatever you want. This guy has really matured in the past couple of years. Bringing a tight end guy into that position, he's going to be able to catch the ball and run with it because he's got the size of a tight end. I like the fact that Will Johnson will have a lot of snaps behind D'Angelo Williams and working as a duo. I really like this. And Dree Archer, don't be surprised. If you're going to see a lot more of Dree Archer filling in for Antonio Brown on kickoffs and punt returns, and you're going to see a wide variety of plays centered around Dree Archer because this is his year. The Steelers say, you know what? We want to make sure that we got this draft pick right. Last year was a not-so-good year for Dree Archer, but this, I believe, Big Tiz, remember me now, listen to me now, remember next Tuesday, Big Tiz. I think this is going to be Dree Archer's year. He had not a stellar preseason, but he had a great preseason, and expect more packages for Dree Archer coming out this year.
Well, I believe the Steelers feel like they didn't give him kind of a fair shake last year because he didn't carry the ball a lot or he didn't get a lot of passes, what you expect for somebody to be productive. You can't be too productive if you're getting not too many touches in a game anyway. But the fact is, maybe the Steelers now are kind of say, like you said, Big O, they're trying to make sure they didn't waste the pick in this guy. So they're going to try to give this guy every ounce of opportunity to try to prove himself before they move on to try to find somebody else. Because we have to find someone to dispel Antonio Brown from his punt return and kickoff duties. This guy, we can't afford to lose him. So Dree Archer has to step up this year. This is a make or break year for Dree Archer.
And I have another 2 words for you, Big Tiz. Tyler Murphy. Great young kid. Met him at training camp. This is the future of the Pittsburgh Steelers. We're getting back to the slash days, okay? And not really identical to the Cordell Stewart, but this Tyler Murphy can really do it all. I don't think he can punt, but we can sure try.
Hey, let's work on it.
But he can throw the ball. He came in as a quarterback. He can catch the ball. He can run with the ball. So expect new and exciting things from Todd Haley's offensive schemes. We're not going to try and give away too much, folks, because we don't know how many New England Patriots coaching staff is watching this show. Probably none, but it only takes one, folks. It only takes one, Big Tiz.
Yeah.
But there's going to be a lot of stuff happening in Pittsburgh this year, especially with the offense of Todd Haley. I think he's settled in. I think the talk about getting rid of Todd Haley and the rift between him and Ben Roethlisberger that never really happened. I think the people are like, all right, let's move on with this. And I expect big things from the offense, especially with this young kid, Tyler Murphy. Explosive offense. Don't expect the ground and pound like the Pittsburgh Steelers of old. Something new for the future.
Hey, you know what? But also, the Steelers are stepping into New England with injuries as well, and as we always do. Big O, let's go down and list some of the injuries that we have out there. Hoping that the Steelers are going to be there,
Well, let's start off with a position that you don't normally talk about, and that's kicker. And that's Sean Swisham, is gone for a year, obviously, and then we signed Hartley, and he ends up getting hurt. And now,
what are the odds of that? 2 kickers going out for the year? That's amazing.
I don't know. But then we end up finding Josh Scobie from the Jaguars. We didn't actually find him. We had to trade for him. And the good thing about this, and a lot of folks probably don't know this, Big Tiz, is that the Pittsburgh Steelers offered Josh Scobie a 2-year contract. 2-year contract. Even though Sean Swisham is still a Pittsburgh Steeler, he turned it down because he said that's Sean's job.
Wow, that says a lot.
And Scobie's been in the league, I believe, 11 years for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I mean, this guy is 80% plus. I mean, you want to say a little bit above average, but now that the 3,000 seats added to Heinz Field, you don't have that swirling wind as you would in previous years. So hopefully that Josh Scobie could come in there and do the job. I really wasn't sold on Hartley, to be honest with you. When he was kicking in the Green Bay game, I don't know. I was cringing.
Well, from what I've read on Hartley and what I've seen some of him, later on in his career with New Orleans Saints, he started to miss kicks. So basically, he was a long-time guy with them, and they released him. So, and I'm pretty sure they released him for that reason. And you're coming into Pittsburgh, which is tougher territory to kick in. Yeah. So, you know what? I don't know. Sometimes, when you get an injury, and sometimes that might be the worst thing that can happen to you. So you end up the odd man out. And that might happen to Hartley on this one.
Yeah, when you take an indoor cat and you basically move him outdoors, there's that transition period. And like I said, it would have been somewhat beneficial because the new seats added stopped some of the wind.
Right.
But I like Josh Scobie. I do.
Well, we also have some others that's out in this game. We have Gronkowski. He's going to be out. I'm not sure the period of time that he's going to be out, but that was the reason the Steelers had to go out and go find a backup for Ben when they got Michael Vick.
Yeah. And that was an injury in the Green Bay Packer preseason game. And a lot of people were pointing their fingers at Cody Wallace because of the bad snap. And I don't know how you could blame the center for that. Was it a bad snap? Probably it was. I don't know. But it's on the quarterback. You got to catch the ball, whether it's a bad snap or not. And Gronkowski botched the ball. He went to recover it, and there you go. Green Bay recovered it and his finger with it.
And everyone knows also that Pouncey is still out as well, which is a huge blow to the line for the Steelers. But you know what? Next man up. The Steelers have to continue to go on. And the Steelers draft choice, Sinquest Golds, he's still out. So, and he'll be out probably for the majority of the year. So the Steelers have a lot of big-time players out. And, of course, the suspensions, Le'Veon Bell and Martavis Bryant, which are huge for the Steelers. So the Steelers have a lot of things going against them in this game going into New England, Big O.
Yeah, we're talking about suspensions. We talk about bad things happen to football teams, the Pittsburgh Steelers, bad luck. Let's talk about the New England Patriots and their history. They got more gates than around the White House. I don't know, Big Tiz. Deflated gate, video gate, Brady gate, deflated gate. I don't know, the tuck
footballs,
gates,
balls.
It just boggles my mind, Tiz. When you look back at the history of the wicked ways of the New England Patriots, and we're not going to be on the show. We're not going to beat them down. We're not going to. We're just going to talk briefly about the history of New England Patriots and their cheating ways. Now, whether or not Brady plays or not, that has nothing to do with it. Pittsburgh Steelers go into the game with a mindset that this is a team that we're playing against. Not one individual, not a Tom Brady, but we're going to play this game regardless. If he's in or if he's not, Pittsburgh is going to go to Foxborough and we're going to win, regardless who's at the helm. But let's think about this for a second, folks. Okay, the history of cheating. I mean, the New England Patriots have gone so far to hire low-level people to break in to opposing teams' locker rooms and steal their play sheets. It got so bad, Big Tiz, that teams would know this on hand and make fake play sheets knowing that the Patriots are going to come in and steal them. Not to mention videotaping, signals, and all this stuff. Then you got this Deflategate. And I told you, and I told everybody within 5, I could swing a dead cat and hit everybody. I knew Tom Brady will not miss one snap this year. Why?
Because he's Tom Brady.
Because he's Tom Brady. Tom Brady.
And there you go, guys. And also, let's not forget now, we did have some rules. Thank you to Tom Brady for creating rules in the NFL, such as the tuck rule, to where no matter what, if your hand just jolts a little forward, the ball, you were trying to do a phenomenal pass, I guess. I don't know what kind of pass, but
I don't know.
So if any of you guys get time, you got video, go back to the New England Patriots and the Oakland Raider game.
Tuck rule.
Yeah, that's where the tuck rule was invented. And when you see how the tuck rule was invented, you too will be amazed and thank Tom Brady for creating this rule to bring into the NFL as well, the Tom Brady rule.
Now, there's three people, Big Tiz, in this world, in the NFL world. One, people who believe that Tom Brady and the New England Patriots are cheaters. Okay. Second, people are fans of the Patriots who don't believe that they're cheaters. Okay. That they win games without cheating. So you got the people who believe they're cheaters, the fans who don't think they're cheaters, and the third people are the judge overseeing the case who has Tom Brady on his fantasy football team. So there you have it, folks.
Hey guys, you know what? And also, Big O, let's give everybody, what is your prediction for this game versus New England Patriots?
Well, I'll tell you what, Big Tiz. It is definitely, because it's the first season.
And give me a
first
score.
Game of the season.
Give me a score.
First game of the season, it's going to be a high-scoring game. Even with Martavis Bryant out, we're going to score a lot of touchdowns because we got Marcus Wheaton and we got Sammy Coates and we got Hayward Bay.
Right. And don't forget Antonio Brown.
Not to mention Antonio Brown. And
it goes down the list.
Let's not leave out Heath Miller. I love that guy. I let him date my daughter. But anyways, it's going to be a high-scoring game because first game of the season, defenses are trying to work out different schemes or whatnot. Okay, with that being said, I do believe within my heart the Pittsburgh Steelers will come out victorious. 37-31 Pittsburgh.
Wow.
In a high-scoring game.
Wow.
I'll write this down.
37-31 Pittsburgh. I like that. I'm going to go on the lower end, but I'm going to say a 27-24 score with the Patriots coming on top. And it pains me to say that. It pains me to think that way. But you know what? I hope that I'm proven wrong.
Me too.
And the reason I say that to you guys out there, the fans, everyone, is because of the fact that with the Steelers having such big issues covering tight ends, and this is a team that lives off the tight end.
I'm telling you.
Let's hope. Let's hope.
I need to get down there, and Keith Butler, I'm sorry. This is what you got to do. You jam the receivers at the line. You get a linebacker. You hit Gronkowski. You get him off his game. You get in his head. I'm telling you, we win this game because there's no way, I'm sorry, that New England's going to run anywhere in Pittsburgh. On Pittsburgh, through Pittsburgh, around Pittsburgh. We get the pressure on Brady. Yeah, we're going to have some mistakes.
Right.
That's why I get 31 points. However, I really hope he doesn't get that far. But we got to be realistic. This is how you're going to beat the New England Patriots. You jam up the receivers, you get in Brady's face, you frazzle him.
Well, yeah.
You sack him,
and that's the main thing.
On the ground a couple
the main
times.
thing is pressure. Just like when the Giants beat the New England Patriots in these Super Bowls that they played, the Giants had that front four, and they brought continued pressure. The Steelers don't have a front four like that right now. But the Steelers have to find ways to bring pressure. Now, if they can bring that pressure where Brady feels like every time he has that ball in his hand, there's a possibility he might get hit, there's a possibility that somebody's around him, he's going to get rid of that ball.
He needs to get hit.
That's human nature. You want to get this thing out of your hand so pain is not caused to you. So that's what I'm looking at right now. And right now, I don't see that with the Steelers. But, I love them for life. I love black and gold forever. But I'm a realist, and that's why we do this show. You know what? We have our opinions as well. And I really do hope they win this game. But right now, Big O, right, I don't see the Steelers doing it on this Thursday night game, especially coming in with the injuries and different things that the Steelers are plagued with right now at this moment. But, guys, you know what? Saying that and saying everything else with the Steelers that's going on, we're going to head out to a commercial break. When we come back, we're going to talk about our final thoughts and some other things that's going to be happening during the season here on Steeler Nation Live when we get back.
It's Spaghetti Sports Pub, located at 2246 East River Road. A perfect blend of Irish charm and Italian cuisine. From From Calabria favorites like calamari to chicken French to the new signature dish like the Steel City Deli.
The Rothless Burger.
Everything is delicious and prepared fresh for you. They offer a full lineup of your favorite beverages with drink specials daily, and don't forget their $5 Monster Bomb.
Ice cold beer.
All day, every day. With 2 floors of seating and 20 high-def televisions, there's not a bad seat in the house to catch every minute of the NFL action.
Watch what you want.
McGinty's is the official home of the Rochester Steelers fan club.
Steelers!
So come on down to McGinty's Sports Pub, 2246 East River Road in Henrietta.
Welcome back to Steeler Nation Live. I'm Big O.
I'm Big Tiz.
And right now we're going to go over the 2015-2016 Pittsburgh Steelers schedule.
Guys, as we know, the Steelers start off the season at New England. But then after this New England game, the Steelers, it just keeps coming because the Steelers have one of the more hardest schedules in the NFL.
Oh, it seems it's never ending. That the 49ers come to Pittsburgh, come to Steeltown, and I think there's going to be a hard-fought match between – I think it's going to be a low-scoring game, Big Tiz, because the 49ers really don't have that potent of offense as far as throwing the ball. It's more of a ground game, like the Pittsburgh Steelers of old. I think because of that, you know how we play down to our opponents?
Right.
I think that's going to be a low-scoring ball game. I still think we win this. I think it's like a 17-13 game.
That'd be good to see because Kaepernick is, no matter what anybody says about him, this guy is still a talented quarterback, and he still has the tools, Anquan Boldin and the other receivers out there. And the Steelers have to deal with this. They have to find ways to control Kaepernick, and they have to do this within a short amount of time after coming off the New England game. So hopefully we remain healthy by that time. And then after that, the Steelers go back on the road, and we head out to the St. Louis Rams. There are a lot of Ram fans out there that's been talking a lot of smack, saying that the Steelers, they're going to put an end to the reign of the Steelers, and Big O's been getting a lot of riff from that as well. So we'll find out if that's going to be true or not. Let's hope not. But then after that, the Steelers finally come back home, and we play the Ravens. That's going to be a huge game with the Baltimore Ravens coming into Pittsburgh. Should be a great game. Hopefully everybody's there to watch the Steelers get another win, Big O.
Yeah, and then we play the San Diego Chargers after that. So it's we don't have to fly west, but it's gonna be a home game against the Chargers.
No, I believe that's going to be out west game.
Out west?
Yep.
Wherever, it doesn't matter. At home or on the West Coast at the beach, Pittsburgh Steelers are going to win this game.
At the beach. I love it. Then the Steelers actually come back to Pittsburgh, so it's going to be a back-and-forth thing for the Steelers. Right now, they're playing the Cardinals, coming to Pittsburgh, and then right after that, the Steelers head back out, and they go to the Kansas City Chiefs, which should be a physical game. The Chiefs are very, very hard to beat in Kansas City because they have a huge crowd following out there, and the Steelers got to be amped up for that game, Big O.
Yeah, even when Kansas City came to Pittsburgh last year, it was a tough battle, even at home. It was a low-scoring game. And these are the kind of games that we need to blow these guys out. I don't see it. You know what I mean? And then the Bengals come to Pittsburgh.
Right.
Then another win right there.
Which is good for the Steelers. The Steelers now, they're getting on a 3-game homestand where the Steelers, after the Bengals game, the Steelers have the Raiders coming from the West out to Pittsburgh. We're gonna host them out there. Hopefully it's going to be a great game. Then right after that, the Steelers are going to be playing the Cleveland Browns in Pittsburgh. Now, the Cleveland Browns is a team that kind of surprises me. You never know what you're going to get with Cleveland. I don't know if Manziel's going to be back in at the quarterback. And to be honest, I really hope it's somebody else because, to be honest, Manziel, to me, I believe he is a good quarterback.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It all depends on, maturity level. If he would have came into the league mature, if he would have listened to his advisors, his coaches, this guy would be a starter, no problem.
Right.
No doubt. And Cleveland would have won a lot more games than they did last year. However, I don't know if he saw God, found God, or somebody smacked him in the head and made him realize, hey, look, this is the real deal, pal. This isn't college anymore. This isn't frat parties. This isn't keg parties. This is the NFL.
Yeah, you're getting paid. Okay? You're getting paid to play.
None of this anymore. Which I heard that he's not going to be doing that anymore.
Right.
This is gone because you want to know why? This is gone. That's why. So
I agree with you. Big O's a little heated up on this one, but you know what? And plus, you know what? It's a battle. So, the Steelers and the Browns. But then right after that, Steelers finish playing the Browns. Then we head out to Seattle, play the Seahawks. Ooh. That's going to be a bruiser, guys. And You know what? I look at that schedule up until that point where they play the Seahawks, and I'm just hoping we can stay healthy enough, especially right now with a lot of these Steelers fans out there having to realize that the Steelers are going through basically an overhaul of their defense right now.
Right.
We have a new head coach for defense, and there are a lot of things going on in Pittsburgh in the secondary. And for you guys that I hate that cry, oh, the defense this, the defense that, the defense. We're going through a change right now, and not just going through the change. The Steelers have been going through the change for a couple of years now, and not just that, they still have been remaining competitive.
Yeah, we have to throw away the must win now. And if you've been a Steelers fan for as long as I have, and I'm not going to date myself, so I'm not going to tell you, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot of Steelers fans out there watching the show who understand what I'm talking about, that the Pittsburgh Steelers who won the 4 Super Bowls in 1970, that wasn't built overnight. We can go back and look at the record before that, how horrible the Pittsburgh Steelers were. Mm-hmm. The Steelers of the 80s were horrible. And how dynasties are built. They're not just brought together. And the thing about society today, it's the quick fix. It's the instant gratification. Let's get the high-paid free agent. Let's win a Super Bowl now. Let's win a championship now. And we see how that pays off. It doesn't, folks.
Right. Just ask the Oakland Raiders. The Oakland Raiders paid a lot of money for some of their players, poured a lot of money into players, and have gotten nothing for it.
Exactly. And not to mention that when you take a defense that you've been running through for 2 or 3 decades and you're changing it, not only changing the scheme of the defense, you're changing the defensive coordinator, and you're changing the scheme with the younger and newer and fresher players. That's going to take time to set in. It's not going to happen overnight. You can sit there and you can say, this is what you're supposed to do. This is how you do it. But it's not going to happen like that. We all know if that was the case, then everybody would be Super Bowl champions. It's not going to happen like that. So we have to be patient. Yes, if we're sitting here watching the game, and Big Tiz, if we're not together and watching it, we're texting, we're calling each other, and we're saying a whole bunch of bad things. But you know what? That's in the heat of the moment.
Right.
But when you sit back and you focus and you look at the big picture of what's going on and how teams and how players are developing and what kind of time frame that's going to take, then you'll understand that, you know what, maybe the cover 2 isn't that bad once you know how to do it.
Right.
Coming from a zone blitz and a zone defense to a cover 2 and a new defensive coordinator, it's going to take some time, folks. Hopefully it doesn't take a long time.
Yeah, but that's what we're hoping
We'll be patient.
And we have to be, and you guys have to be understandable about that as well. And I understand that we do have somewhat of an urgency because we have Ben Roethlisberger, who is up there. You know, let's not get it twisted. He's up there in age, but the fact is, you still have to address that in certain ways by going out to find a quality quarterback. You know, somebody who's going to actually. Let's not kid around. Somebody who's going to take 10 years to mold into something. No, we need someone who's not that far under Ben, but close.
Right.
You know, because you need somebody who we can mold a little, and Ben can teach him, but you need somebody in there.
Is Mike Vick the answer? No.
No.
Is Gradkowski the answer? No. Is Leonard Jones the answer?
I think I'd be the answer before that.
I'm pretty sure. Been with the team for 3 years, and you're the number 3 quarterback when you're supposed to be fighting for Ben's job. It's time to draft high in the quarterback next year. But we'll talk about that later during the season.
Well, guys, you know what? And also, after the Seahawks game with the Steelers, we're going to continue on. And the Colts come back to Pittsburgh, where Ben last year had one of his record-setting games versus the Colts, and they're back in Pittsburgh again. I don't know if they're too happy about that. And then after that, the Steelers travel over to Cincinnati, which should be a huge game.
Yeah. And
it's going to be a lot of things going to be happening during the season. And one of the big games, if you can get to this game in Pittsburgh, guys, the Broncos, Manning and the whole crew, they're coming out to Pittsburgh. You got to be out there. That's going to be later in the year. It's going to be the 14th or 15th week of the season. You got to be out there and check it out.
Well, I'll tell you what, Big Tiz. I'm going to make a prediction right here. I really don't think with Brady's health problems that Peyton Manning's health problems that haven't been come to attrition yet, I don't think he plays this game. I don't think he finishes the season. And you talk to the fantasy analysts about who we should draft as a quarterback, Peyton Manning is very low. And because he's having health problems that really aren't being thrown out there, and I can for understandable reasons, but I really don't think Peyton Manning is going to be in the quarterback during this game.
Hey, that's very possible. I mean, it's going to be a long physical season. This guy is up there in years in the NFL, and especially with the neck procedures he's had done, I'm surprised he even, made it through last season, but he did. And this is something that, he has to come through, but they're going to be in Pittsburgh that week. And after that, the Steelers are on the road for the last 2 games of the season, where the Steelers head down to Baltimore. And then right after that, we finish off with the Browns. So hopefully hope that Manziel is in there. But myself, like I said, I love my black and gold, but this guy, Manziel, I do believe, if given the right tools, I do believe he kind of reminds me of Flutie.
Yeah, I think what's going to ruin it for the Cleveland Browns is the coaching staff. I think now that they have the players that could come in, they have young running backs. They have, except for Josh Gordon, he won't be playing again this year, wide receiver. I think they have a great opportunity to show the NFL that the Cleveland Browns are not the redheaded stepchild of the NFL anymore. They have a lot of potent players. And the thing about it is that the people look down on Cleveland Browns, and this is what's going to surprise people. This is what's going to scare other NFL teams because of the history of the Cleveland Browns as being a horrible team. But now they have young and fresh players who really can do the job if they set their minds to it. Don't be surprised if you see the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cleveland Browns fighting atop of that AFC division, because if the Cleveland Browns get their stuff together. I almost said it. If they get their stuff together, Big Tiz, they can be a good team. I'm not saying great, but they can be a good team. They could be, what's the word I'm looking for? They could be, they can beat you and put you in a position where you don't want to be. So look out for the Cleveland Browns this year.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of things that can be on the horizon this year for the Steelers. The Steelers just have to remain focused, and that's the key for them this year. Also, what we wanted to talk about as well, and, we're getting close to the end of the show, is the fact that with our new, things that's happening this year with Jeff Reed, getting ready to come onto the show, where it's going to be a different avenue for us. And the fact that, we're inviting Jeff Reed to come on in. Jeff Reed has a lot of football knowledge. He's been in the game as well. And he has a lot to add to the show, Big O.
Yeah. Unfortunately, there were some things that people, they want to look at Jeff Reed somehow in a negative way. With certain instances, we're all human beings. We all make mistakes. We all do things. Okay, let's focus on what Jeff Reed has done in the past for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and what being with him, spending the weekend with him in Jerome Bettis' enshrinement down in Canton. I got to see the real side of Jeff Reed. Now, Jeff Reed is, he's out there in the limelight. He's obviously been a Pittsburgh Steelers Super Bowl champion. Jeff Reed not only is an NFL, player, he doesn't like to be called superstar because, because that's the kind of guy he is. But spending time with Jeff Reed was a great time for me, and opened my eyes, and I sat back and I watched how this guy was, who hasn't been in the league for a long time, a couple years, and how the fans still love and adore this guy. You're going to get a couple of your I don't want to say it because there's probably kids watching the show. There's going to be a lot of people out there, not a lot, a couple people might say some negative things.
Right.
But you know what? But like I said, spending time with Jeff Reed that weekend was a great time. I'm glad he's part of Steeler Nation Live, and he's going to bring nothing but great talent to the show. Well, like you said, with his wisdom of the game, his knowledge of the game, and in being in the game,
right,
and giving his analysis of how he feels as a former professional football player, that's going to be great to this show. And I'm, Jeff, if you're out there watching, hey, we love you, man.
And we also wanted to address that as well during the season about, and Jeff is also knowledgeable on, being in that rough spot in Pittsburgh where a lot of kickers are out there. They fail because of the bad weather and the different avenues that come with.
And an open end zone that's not open anymore.
Right. This guy knows all about that. So, and he has a lot of info to feed you guys. And you know what? If you want him to ask questions, answer questions as well, put them up on the site, and we'll try to get him to answer them as well as we can as the season goes along. And we want to appreciate you guys for being here and checking us out and viewing us here on Steeler Nation Live. But right now, guys, we're going to get to our final thoughts right now. And I'm going to start with myself. And what I want to do is right now, I'm going to tell you what I think the Steelers need to do and what should be done for Pittsburgh, not just for today's game, but just going through the season. And, maybe things have changed like they always have to in life. But right now, we have to address the problems they have right now. And right now, I see with the Steelers as a problem is the Steelers trying to figure out who they are. The Steelers don't really have a true identity on defense. And you might say we have Harrison as a face of the defense, but the fact is Harrison is an older guy. Harrison needs these younger guys to step up. No matter what he does, Harrison can go out there. He can be 45 years old out there making sacks, but he needs help from these younger guys because this old guy is going to eventually wear out and he's going to be useless to the team. And it's a long season, no matter how old you are, but to be the age that he is now, 36, 37, these younger guys have to step up. But that means the other guys on the defensive line, the Tuitts and the Jones. I mean, it goes down the list. These guys have to help bring that continual pressure, which means that now the other linebackers, which Harrison was grooming, can get in there and make plays. But the fact is, it's a team sport, and the defensive side of the ball right now needs to be the one that needs to step up. I believe the offense right now this year should be able to hold their own. But the fact is, the defense, you need to stop some opponents from scoring. And the fact is, when I say from scoring, I'm particularly talking about tight end scoring. Tight end scoring has been a definite problem for the Steelers this year and last year, to be honest. So, if you go back into the Cleveland game where you had their tight end going down the sideline for a 66-yard touchdown play. These are the things that need to stop at Pittsburgh. And it continued this year, as I said earlier, 4 touchdowns by tight ends of over 30 yards. It's amazing. But right now, the Steelers have to find ways to address it. Granted, we have younger guys in, but you know what, Butler, do all you can with these guys. And being a black and yellow fan, I'm patient. And because I know that, we have six rings and counting. I know that there's another one on the horizon. I know there's another one coming. The fact is, you fans, be a little patient because it's a defense that's trying to figure themselves out. And if you can do that and weather the storm, I believe the Steelers will have that 7th ring before Ben retires because the Steelers realize the urgency of getting that 7th ring. So, Big O, I see 7, maybe not this year. It'll be next year. But I see the Steelers possibly having a good season this year.
Yeah. This is why I hate following Big Ten, is because how can you follow up something like that? I just walk off the set and say, okay, thank you, good night. But let me tell you something, folks. What we have to do is be patient. Patience is a virtue. Patience is the key word of this season, 2015, 2016. We need to be patient. Plus, we need to stop relying on Ben from winning games for us. We have to realize this is a team effort. Can Ben win games for us? Absolutely. But we need the defense to step up as well. Defenses win championships. You can ask anybody who's ever been anything in football, and they'll tell you defenses win championships. Look at the 1970s, Mean Joe Green, L.C. Greenwood, the Whites.
Yeah, even the Baltimore Ravens.
Absolutely. Defense wins championships. We need to be patient. Speaking of defenses, you alluded to it earlier that we're changing. We changed the defensive coordinator number 1. We're changing the defensive scheme number 2, and we got new, young, fresh players number 3. And I don't care if Jarvis Jones has been on the team 2 years, 1 year, whatever. We have Shazier, the same thing. You mentioned James Harrison. You failed to mention Arthur Motes, another seasoned veteran. Lawrence Timmons, who restructured his contract, another defensive player. It's just and we also forgot Joey Porter coaching the linebackers, who can obviously come back and play at any time. These are the guys that we need to take these young players and not expect too much from them. Okay, just because you wear the black and gold, we deserve wins, we expect wins, but we have to be patient to get these wins. Because let me tell you something. When we win number 7, there's no team that's going to come close for decades to win it. So let's try and do it the best way we possibly can, coming together and being patient. Michael Vick, we talked about it earlier in the show. He's done his time. He did the crime. He's done his time. Let's move on. Has he changed as a person? Yes. Let's see what he can do on the football field. Can he help the Pittsburgh Steelers? Yes, he can. Will he? I hope he doesn't have to, because that means Ben's hurt.
Right.
So we need to focus on the future with a quarterback replacing Ben, but that's not the issue right now. My main goal is patience. The defense has to give him time. Give him time. The offense will carry this team for a while, but let me tell you something, folks. You wait for that defense to come back up like the defense of the 70s, and let me tell you something, folks. when you sit down to watch the Pittsburgh Steelers play, no matter who they play, you're going to have it that we're going to win this game irregardless, because the defense will take care of its job, and then the offense will do their job, and that's how you win ball games. So I'm telling you, it might not be a glorious season this year. We might lose some games that we should win, that we normally do every year, but attrition will tell you, folks, that the Pittsburgh Steelers will come out on top this year.
I like that, Big O. I like it. Hey, folks out there you have it. Our first show in the books again. You know, Big O and I, we've been together for a while now, and every year we're trying to do things to advance, get better. You know, like we said earlier, go to our website, www.steelernationlive.net. Go there and also check out some of the sponsors that we have to the show, you know, with McGinney's Pub.
Yeah, and
Uniform Express.
From Brian. And also the Joey Laurie, our reporter on the spot. Joe Laurie is coming back for a second season. Joe, we thank you, and we'll hope to hear some stories coming out from Joey Laurie, who's the roving reporter for Steeler Nation Live. We'll welcome him back if we neglected to say that at the beginning of the show. Thank you, Joe. And there's a lot of stuff that Steeler Nation Live is going to be doing for you, but we expect, or we hope that you do stuff for us. Like go to our website, www.steelernationlive.net. Give us some input on what you feel, how the show is going. Questions for Jeff Reed, questions for Joe Laurie, and just see how the Steeler Nation Live has changed or has evolved in the past couple of years. And feel free to download your pictures, your favorite Steeler pictures, your unfavorite Steeler pictures, the games you've been to, the outfits that you wear, your animals, whatever it takes. If it's in Steeler gear, we want it here. Steeler Nation Live.
That's right, guys. This is it, for this show. But the fact is, we love to see you guys on our set. Don't forget, we're also on Twitter as well. So we also have little other outlets as well out there on social media. So check us out on Twitter at SNL1933, the year the Steelers were established. Gotta love it. Oh. And you know what? There you have it, Big O. It's been a pleasure working with you for the years that we've been together, and the fact that we bring it to you, the fans. And so from me, Big Tiz, and
Big O,
there you have it, another show in the book. So hopefully we'll see you next week on an epic performance in New England as the Steelers are triumphant. Next time on Steeler Nation Live.